Welcome back to another episode of Buzzworthy Businesses, where we highlight business owners who are making an impact. I'm Morgan Allen, joined today by Beth Kapes with Moving Words into Action. Beth, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Wonderful. So tell me about what you're doing helping B2B businesses create content.
Right. So, content drives any brand, whether it be B2C or B2B, but I specialize in B2B and have for over 20 years now. When I started my company, Moving Words into Action, I started with a large group called Parker Hannifin and wrote many of their books, two of their books. And then we transitioned that content into their centennial strategy when they turned 100 years old. That's just an example. I've worked with all types of industries across the country and internationally on their brands. They want to stand out, they want to be different. And strategy and content is the piece to that, even in the day of AI. Right now, AI only finds you if you're different. So I think that's really important. And these strategies are built around the differences of the brand that I bring forward.
That's fantastic. And AI is such a pioneer these days in the industry. We've had to adapt to these changes and use them to enhance our efficiencies. So,
Right.
how are you using AI to enhance your efficiency?
Right. So I started my AI learning journey over 4 years ago now with the Marketing AI Institute here in Cleveland. They have the Marketing AI conference every year here in Cleveland. When it first started, it was very small. And now, as you can imagine, we have thousands of people coming to Cleveland to learn more about marketing AI, and not just in marketing, but across all scopes of work. I am certified in an AI marketing certificate. And how do I use it? Every day.
Hmm.
Now, there are certain tools that I don't want to say leery of, but I understand the limitations. And I think that's very important. And what I stress to anyone, any organization that thinks they can just dump an AI tool on top of their teams to make a ton of money, it's not going to work. First and foremost, you really need to understand your brand. You have to have that firm foundation of a site, your brand messaging, because that is what AI feeds off. In terms of what I use it for, ideation, research. One of my favorite tools is Perplexity, and I'm surprised that many people don't use Perplexity, but Perplexity cites the sources. So if you were to ask me, why did you say this is good for my brand or why I should be stressing this, I can point to a source and verify that source and do more research from that source that Perplexity brings me. And I think that is very important. Trust is a huge issue right now
Yes.
with AI, as we all know.
Yeah.
So you can't just chat GPT it and hope it'll work. You really have to understand how to use the tools. You have to understand prompting
Mhm.
very in depth. At the end of the day, the only way a good prompt will work is if you understand what you're prompting,
Yep.
whether it be the business, whether it be the industry or the topic. I use it every day. I admit it. I don't use it to write. I use it to ideate. I use it to research, and I will use it to check facts. And I think that's really important as well. Can it do some editing? Sure, that's great. But I still have a human editor who I highly rely on. I have found countless mistakes and hallucinations from some of the chat GPTs or the AI tools that I've dug
Mhm.
into. So you have to always, kind of look across the scope. So it may sometimes, everyone's like, oh, we're going to save time and money. Well, actually, it might add time and money to your plate if you don't understand how to use it first.
Yeah, I totally agree. So,
Yeah.
how are you helping these brands maintain a level and a standard of authenticity?
Right. So, one of the biggest things that I always start with, even in the day of AI, and I stress this, is speaking with their clients. The voices of the clients, even the voices of your employees, are very important. And that's how you stand out. That's what makes you authentic. You want to know what the client or your customer thinks of you or your brand before you start selling it. I don't care what go to market plan you have. If you don't understand who the audience is, what they want, how you can provide it, you're not going to sell it. So I spend an inordinate amount of time. For instance, I have another technology expense management company that I'm managing all communications and marketing for right now. I interviewed 85 of their clients around the country and Canada to understand, and that's ongoing for case studies and so forth, that we keep building to understand what their concerns are. What are their pain points? And I always tell people it's never about you, it's always about them.
Yeah,
Always.
absolutely. And knowing their pain points really does help create that strategy to
Right.
to implement the best plan of action. So I love that. Beth, thank you so much for being a guest today on the show. Any final thoughts? Anything I missed today that you wanted everybody to know about moving
No, I'm
words into
just
action?
super proud of what I've built over the last 20 years with moving words into action. And I keep doing it to, as I always say, to tell the story that makes a difference. And that's
Wow.
always about those voices that come to me. So I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show. And viewers, thank you for tuning in to another episode. If you want more, head on over to dailynewsnetwork.com and we have Beth's info and so many other profiles right there. We'll see you in the next episode of Buzzworthy Businesses.